Am I the idiot for asking my boyfriend to consider cutting off one of his friends? I, 24, female, have been together with my, 25, male, boyfriend for 2 years now, and we have not had any issues about boundaries or argued at all until recently when I asked him if he would consider cutting off one of his female friends. For context, I am not particularly fussed about who my boyfriend chooses to be friends with, and I am pretty laid back when it comes to him going out and spending time with these friends. It all started around February time when my boyfriend told me he was going to one of his friends' birthday parties and that there were going to be some girls there. He lets me know this beforehand every party. Not because I am controlling, but because I have had bad experiences when it comes to guys. I like going to parties with girls. He wasn't replying back as often as he was before, so I decided to go watch a movie and get an early night because he was enjoying himself. It came at around 5 a.m., and he called me and was extremely apologetic and swearing about everything that he could think of that nothing happened. Once he calmed down, I asked him what happened, and that's when he told me that he went up with one of his friends, let's call her Ella, to a room, and they stayed in the room alone for over an hour talking. He told me he originally went up to make sure she wouldn't throw up because she was drunk, and then ended up having a conversation with her about random stuff. At this point, a bad gut feeling started to kick in and I broke down into tears. I repeatedly asked him if anything happened, and he promised it didn't, so I believed him, and we managed to move on from the incident. A while after the whole incident, I started to notice that she was acting more differently around him, and it felt as though he was hiding something from me. So I asked him if he had anything to tell me, and that's when he let it slip that Ella told him after the incident that my boyfriend was her most favorite person out of all of her friends. As soon as he told me, that same bad gut feeling kicked in again. I asked him why he didn't tell me about what she said, and his excuse was that I would overthink about it because of what had recently happened, which was true. We argued about it that night, but then we moved on from the topic, and it wasn't brought up again until recently when Ella met me properly for the first time in a while, and she completely blanked me and was almost acting like a pick-me-up girl towards my boyfriend. I brought it up to him, and he put it down to her being nervous to meet me again. We all went out for dinner, and she brought up the whole incident between the two at the party, and asked how I was so trusting of my boyfriend because they could have done a lot of things that night together, and he could have lied about it all. When those words left her mouth, my jaw dropped, and that same bad gut feeling came back again. I excused myself from the table, not even daring to look at either of them, and called myself a taxi to get home, texting my boyfriend on the way back that I wasn't feeling well, so went home. He called me numerous times the next couple of days after that, but I declined every single one of them, Ella's words just replaying in my mind. A few days passed and my boyfriend came over to my house. He was mad at me for ignoring him the past couple of days and asked me why I did that. I explained that what Ella said really made me think about this situation, and I needed some time to reflect on it all. He asked me what it was that she said that made me feel like this, and I explained that it was because of the fact she mentioned that they both could have done anything together, and I wouldn't have known. He assured me that he didn't do anything with her apart from talk, and he didn't know why she even suggested something like that. After a long conversation, we managed to talk things out, but this is where the issue comes in. I asked him if he would consider cutting Ella off for a while because I was extremely uncomfortable with the things she was saying and suggesting about my boyfriend. He completely flipped and said that it would be so unfair for me to ask him not to talk to his friend over something so small. I tried to explain my reasoning, but he told me that his answer was no and stormed out. He has ignored me for 2 days, and I am now starting to wonder if I overreacted and am being the idiot. Now for a few comments before the update. Not the idiot. Even if nothing happened, Ella has a massive crush and she needs time apart to get over it, and stop being inappropriate with your BF. If your BF wants to help her get over him, he'll put distance between them and maybe they can be friends again in a year or a few years. If he doesn't, he's enjoying the attention and tempting fate, if he hasn't already. Comment 2. Not the idiot. I am sorry that I'm not sorry. Your dude is a prick and a liar. If I was dumb enough to put myself in those situations and didn't do anything wrong, and then my friend said that poop, you wouldn't have to ask me to send her on her way. I would have told her exactly what I was thinking about what she said and about her, and we would have walked out together. Bottom line. He is a liar because he wants to keep this chick around for some reason. Embedding the reason is if he tells her to piss off, she is going to out him, and seeing that she is a smidge on the loony spectrum, she will have the proof. He knows it's the right thing to do. There is something putting him in a spot where he can't. Comment 3. Not the idiot. He is most likely cheating already or looking for an excuse to break up so he can be with her instead. Sorry. Now for the update. This has taken me a while to process what has happened the past couple of days, but I felt I owed it to you all to update on what happened since you all helped me a lot with this whole situation. Thank you all for the advice and comments, it truly helped me with my decision. I would also like to address a few things that I may have not made clear in my first post. 1. The reason he tells me if there are girls at a party that he's at is because I do have serious trust issues, and that led to me feeling worried when he goes to a party, so he told me just to make me feel a bit better. Some people may judge that, but I simply do not care, as he was never forced to tell me anything. He did it on his own just to make sure I wasn't over worrying about it all. 2. The reason I did not respond back to him after what Ella said is because I needed space to process it all, and I did leave this out as I was just trying to fit everything into short paragraphs. I texted him when I got home from the dinner asking for space. I didn't just completely blank him with no explanation. I am sorry that was not made clear. So here's the update. After not talking for a good few days, my boyfriend came around to my place. He told me that we needed to talk about things, and I agreed because I felt as though things were not handled correctly. I asked him to be truthfully honest about the whole situation, and why he flipped out on me for my suggestion of him considering cutting Ella off. He then sat down and told me to listen to his full story before I made any decisions or said anything to him. I agreed and sat down next to him. He told me that the reason he was so upset about me asking him to cut Ella off is because he couldn't. I was confused but let him continue before I was going to say anything. He then said that the reason he couldn't is because Ella had told him that if he ever tried to cut her off that she would tell me the truth about the party. My heart immediately sank and I felt the tears starting to form. I asked him what she meant by that, and he said that at the party, he did go up to the room alone with her to check she was okay, but after that, they didn't talk like he said they did, they slept together. He then said that he regretted it instantly but couldn't bring himself to tell me because it would shatter me. I asked him why he called me that night at all, and he said that people saw them go up to the room, so he had to tell me his story first so I would believe him. I started screaming and shouting at him, and then kicked him out of my house. He has been trying to contact me on different accounts, and off of friends' phones to try to talk to me again, and it has led to me having to take a little break off of social media. I have since found out from friends that Ella has told them that she was wondering how long it would take me to figure it out with the hints she was dropping. I also found out that they have slept together more since the party, and the whole time he was ignoring me, he was actually over at her house. Safe to say I will be taking a break from men for a while. Comment 1. You're the idiot. Honestly, it's pretty clear that you were being controlling and paranoid from the start. Your boyfriend had to report to you about girls at parties? Then you just jump to conclusions and demand he cuts off a friend based on a feeling? He had a right to flip out. If anything, you pushed him into this situation with your trust issues and need to control his friendships. People have friends, and sometimes they talk or hang out. It doesn't mean he's cheating. Your overreaction here is probably what caused all this drama in the first place, and now you're playing the victim card. Grow up and learn to trust people or you'll never have a healthy relationship. Comment 2. Ella and your ex are both trash. I bet this is not the first time he cheats, but he's pretty good at getting away with it. If it wasn't for trashy Ella trying to mark her territory, you wouldn't know about it. He told you a half-truth to deceive you and earn your trust before anyone had the chance to tell you what happened during that party. What a piece of trash. Please don't ever talk to him again. Don't give him the chance to fill you up with lies and convince you to take him back. You deserve better. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for saying I despise my parents because they like my sister? I, male 24, was always ignored by my parents when I was younger. My mom would always favorite my sister because she got top marks on everything. But don't get me wrong, I got good grades as well, mostly B's and A's. My sister, female 20, went to private school funded by my parents, of course, while I had to rack up thousands of student debt just to go to college. My sister always got everything, whether it was new shoes or the latest iPhone, whatever it was, she got it. When I was 16, my parents helped me my dream PC, but when my sister found out about this, she had a meltdown. She said, and I quote, "Why does he get everything that he wants?" Yes, she said that, and stormed off to her bedroom. When her birthday rolled around, she was expecting the latest iPhone and a new MacBook Pro for school. But she got was more than that. She got 2 MacBooks, one for home and one for school. She also got an iPhone 11 Pro Max with 1 terabyte of storage. Which to her, seeing this, she said, "OMG, you got the wrong color." I was shocked, and they went back to the store and got her the right color. I had never gotten anything like that before. But that's just the start. Whenever it was my birthday, she would beg to blow out the candles and open my presents and cut the cake. This was on my 14th birthday. My grandpa was shocked. My grandparents are strict on this, so to say they were shocked is an understatement. He then told me to leave the room, and oh my, did my grandparents let them have it. And those are just 2 of the many things that have happened. In the time when this happened was just 2 years ago. 2 years ago was my sister's graduation, and she was spoiled by gifts from friends and of course my parents, and bear in mind they didn't even come to my graduation because I'm not making them proud. When my sister got called up on stage, my parents had paid, yes, you heard that, paid people in audience to cheers and clap for my sister to make her feel special. I was so mad by this that I got up and left. When my parents got home, they called me and said, "How dare you leave in the middle of your sister's graduation?" And that's when I snapped. I told them that why would I stay if they paid people to cheer in the audience, and that they always left me out, They always brought my sister everything so my sister would never have to work and just focus on school while I had to work while in school if I wanted anything, that my sister got whatever she wanted even if it was on my birthday and that they never noticed me apart from my birthday. After I had said that, she was quiet, and I heard my dad get past the phone, and he scolds me for talking to them like that, and that he heard the entire thing because my mom had the phone on speaker. That's when I said to him that I absolutely despised them and that they were bad parents, and that I don't like them. That was 1 year ago, and my mom contacted me out of the blue saying that my sister needed money, and they had found out that I had gotten a lot of money from investing and working as district manager for where I live. They proceeded to ask for money to help my sister buy a house. I was confused and asked why. They said, "After all we did for you, and you're asking why we are asking for money from you." And I said to them, "After all you have done for me? You made my sister do nothing while I had to do everything," and I hung up. This was 3 days ago, and I'm not answering their texts or calls begging and then getting mad at me. I honestly don't know what to do. If you have any advice, then please tell me. Now for a few comments before the update. Not the idiot. You are a 24-year-old successful adult. You did it on your own with no support from them. You don't owe them anything. And you certainly don't owe that sister of yours a thing. Go live your life and make yourself happy. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Your sister has always been treated like a golden child. It sounds like she hasn't learned how to work for anything. Her good grades came easy, and your parents handed her everything else. Now she's looking for someone to hand her money to buy a house. You going low contact/no contact with your parents is perfectly understandable given the circumstances. It sounds like they just only a little more than the bare minimum of providing food, clothing, and shelter. By contrast, they spent a lot of money on schools and gifts for your sister. If you do choose to talk to them, ask your dad to describe what they did for you. What did you ever do for me without doing twice as much for her? Comment 3. Not the idiot. You should tell them that they are reaping what they sowed. Getting back how they treated you. Now for the update. Today I contacted my parents saying I will not be buying or helping my sister get a house. My dad was furious, saying, "How could you do this to your sister?" My parents went on to tell me that my sister was pregnant. I asked, "Does she have a boyfriend?" They went on to tell me no, and that's why she needed the house. I was confused. And then it clicked. She was going round and having intercourse with people from her college. And I asked if that was true. They went quiet, and I knew that was not what I was expecting. I'm not sure if I should go no contact anymore because my parents are making me feel obligated to help. I am stuck between options. Comment 1. I would go no contact with them. Sounds like they are still spoiling your sister and now want to use your money for it. It's not you they want, it's not you they care about, it's just your money. All you'll ever be to them is what you can give, and you will never get anything back in return. If you give in now, you'll have to give in when the baby comes by, taking her and her baby, then you'll have to babysit so she can go out with friends. Is that really what you want? Comment 2. You are in no way obligated to help. Your parents are refusing to acknowledge their part in creating a spoiled person with poor judgment and little impulse control. Now she's pregnant, and they're all three trying to foist the responsibility of that onto you while sparing themselves as much trouble about it as possible. A repeat of your childhood all over again. Ignore them. Block them. They fricked around, literally, in your sister's case, so now they can find out. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.